No, I'm getting the audience. Yeah, yeah. Audience. Yeah.
Ready? Good afternoon. My question today is, when our generation moves out, and the next generation moves in, what will we leave behind for them? What will you contribute to the world? Who will be the next innovative mind, such as Steve Jobs was in his last generation? As stated in an article called allaboutstevejobs.com, Jobs made numerous contributions to the world of technology. Jobs developed home computers, portable laptops, the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, and recently the iWatch. He also owned part of Pixar Animation, which gained him much of his money, his net worth. He also designed the movie Toy Story. But even on a micro level, we can affect the world. But jobs affect the world on a wider scale. I plan to be a nurse, a vital branch of the healthcare system. My plan is to touch one life at a time in my everyday life, aiding lives as they transition into the world or out of the world or anywhere in between. In this speech, I will mention and describe 3 of the essential changes we need to enact in the world, from helping those in need, improving foreign relations, and nursing our Earth back to health. As a generation of people united, we need to help uplift those who are struggling or in need. As stated in an article by Nathan Tamblyn called "The Duty to Help the World's Poor," if it is in our power to prevent something very bad from happening without thereby sacrificing anything of comparable moral significance, we ought to do it. I think this statement is easier said than done, and I think this is a popular opinion among people. As students, parents, and workers, we get caught up in our own lives and forget about others, especially those in other countries who may be struggling. However, one can at least make an effort to reach out and help another human in need. After all, we are all needy in some way, shape, or form. We need food, water, shelter, clothes, shoes, or the next iPhone. Why should we discriminate against those who are in need of help? Secondly, in order to improve relations with foreign countries, we need to exhibit peaceful diplomatic behavior. In his article titled "Isolationism and Internationalism in American Foreign Relations," Andrew Johnstone ponders the validity of America's policies of isolationism and internationalism. Johnstone insists that isolationism and internationalism are complete opposite terms and cannot be practiced simultaneously. Isolationism insists being uninvolved and separate from other countries and their business, while internationalism is pertaining to achieving relations with and cooperating with nations. The United States does not practice isolationism in any form. The term may have been applicable in earlier centuries and events, but it is outdated and no longer applies to the United States. As a counter-opinion, Michael J. Totten article, "No Exit: Why the U.S. Can't Leave the Middle East," explains that for the most part, America must stay involved in foreign affairs. It would be very difficult to simply ignore all of the international turmoil going on in the world and turn a blind eye, especially when it can eventually affect us so seriously. Syria is at present a precarious intersection. As stated by Totten, the seat of power is being fought over by Bashar al-Assad, whose regime is the biggest state sponsor of international terrorism in the Arab world, and it's aligned with the Islamic Republic regime in Iran, the biggest state sponsor of international terrorism in the entire world. He is in competition with a bin Ladenist for the seat of power in Syria. Neither of these groups sound very suitable for the safety of the United States or the rest of the world. While living on Earth, it has become essential that we protect and work to rejuvenate the planet so that future generations will have a home to live in. As stated in Rosemary E. Omer and Barbara Patterson's article, "Conclusions: Reframing the Possibilities for Natural and Social Science Dialogue on the Economic History of Natural Resources," humanity at large is being forced to pay attention to the environment and our interactions with it. One of the main problems, which the article elaborated on, was the depletion of fisheries, which means that we are consuming many fish at a rapid pace and the ocean cannot manage an equal replacement. The consequence of continuing such excessive fishing is that future generations will not have enough to eat. Lack of animals in the ocean can also lead to further economic problems. And fisheries are not the only problem of natural resources that we are depleting. We are also depleting the ozone and trees, and our earth is dying because of us. Making a difference in the world will assure a positive trail for our generation. A person in need is a human like any other, simply maybe not as privileged as most of us are. We can influence foreign relations just simply by voting. Giving back to our earth, which has given us so much over the millennia, will improve our future generations. So do what you can when you can in your everyday life to assist others in need or help our depleting world. Small steps can lead to great leaps of contribution to the world. You never know where you can make a difference, so make an effort when you can.